So picture this. You've arrived at your hotel and you're on your way to your room, and Steven Spielberg walks into your elevator. Oh my god, Mr. Spielberg, I'm such a huge fan. Nice to meet you. Say, you got any ideas for stories? After all, I am an Oscar-winning director. Oh, yes. So basically, my idea is that there's a group of kids who all have these superpowers called keys, and then their mentor dies. But with this happening, it means that the main character, who is a woman, girl boss, love her, tries to bring her back to life, but then in doing so causes a mass effect of, yeah, this is my spot, see you later, man. So that is the concept of an elevator pitch. You only have a small amount of time to try and communicate your idea to someone who's willing to listen, but it needs to be sharp, to the point, and sounding interesting. Unlike my interpretation of Steven Spielberg. I don't know what he sounds like other than he's American, so... But that's what I'm here to teach you today. The concept of elevator pitches was something that I was taught while I was at uni, but I figured I'd save you guys 30k and that I would try my best to replicate what I learned, but in a YouTube video that's going to be like 5 minutes long. So in order to learn about elevator pitches, we need to know some basics. If you're Googling what an elevator pitch is, it usually comes up with something to do with selling yourself or making a connection with someone. But when it comes to creative industry implementation, this is slightly different. While you're trying to present yourself, they care more about an idea and whether or not you're able to execute that idea. For example, if you're trying to pitch a 5-book visual novel, they want to make sure that you can complete one. But let's break down how to actually write an elevator pitch. Point 1. The whole pitch should be around 30 seconds long, which is around the time that you and Steven Spielberg will be inside the elevator. And this isn't a rushed 30 seconds either, which leads into point 2. The 3 C's. Clarity, consciousness, and confidence. Clarity is the way that you enunciate your words. Consciousness is making sure that every sentence that you say has been thought out and makes sense, and confidence is the way that you're saying it. I find myself using the 3 C's quite a lot when I'm writing scripts for YouTube videos, so these things really do help each other out. The idea may not be the best or the most creative idea that they've come across, but if you speak with enough clarity and confidence, you'll find that a lot of people will listen to you and consider your words and stories. But it's all good and well, being able to speak with confidence and being able to speak well, if you don't have a decent pitch. So let's have a look at 5 movie elevator pitches, and I'll give you 20 seconds to try and figure out which movie they belong to. Let's start with number 1. A paralytic marine replaces his brother on an alien planet for a corporate mission. He is accepted by the natives as one of their own, but he must decide where his loyalties lie. The answer is Avatar. Let's go on to the second one. When an industry billionaire is captured, he constructs a high-tech armoured suit to escape. Once he manages to escape, he decides to use his suit to fight against evil forces to save the world. The answer is Iron Man. Number 3. The spirits of a deceased couple are harassed by an unbearable family that has moved into their home, and hire a malicious spirit to drive them out. The answer is Beetlejuice. Number 4. A ring with mysterious power lands in the hands of a young hobbit. Under the guidance of a wizard, he and his 3 friends set out on a journey and land in the Elvish Kingdom. The answer is the Fellowship of the Ring. And finally, for our 5th one, a baffling death inside a quiet church draws a detective into a tense investigation, where faith, secrets, and suspicion blur as a close community turns against itself. And then the answer is Wake Up Dead Man. Now, all of these are all official movie summaries off of Google, but are also extremely good elevator pitches. Usually a character's name would be in these, but I removed them for the guessing purposes, but it's all key information. I really implore you to go and look at your favourite movie's elevator pitch on Google just to see how the whole movie is summarised. Who this story is about, what is it about, what conflicts may be coming up, and are there any villains that we need to consider? All of these things that you have most definitely considered for your story need to be considered for your pitch as well. You don't want to overload people with information, but you want just enough information to sow the seed of curiosity, which would be a very good thing. Now, I'm aware that this was very fast-paced and probably unhelpful, but hopefully you've got a gist of how elevator pitches should work and how they can be used to highlight and describe a story. I wanted to use the last bit of time in this video to talk about my own elevator pitch for my webcomic. This isn't me trying to get you to read it, by the way, more so just trying to highlight that elevator pitching is a skill and you won't magically be good at it first time. So my elevator pitch goes as follows. In a world where only 1% of the population is born with special powers called keys, distressing things start to happen to Rose Kingley when her mentor dies. This sets into motion a dangerous chain of events that will change Rose's life forever. Now, in my own opinion, that kind of sounds really boring. However, that's because I know the whole scope of the story and where I'm going with it. As far as I'm concerned, this elevator pitch summarizes the first chapter pretty neatly. We mentioned Rose, who was our main character, major character death, as well as highlighting that the fact that this story is about minorities. Now, this pitch took me 9 tries to come up with, but even then I still think it's too long. I haven't quite nailed the skill of an elevator pitch, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the fundamentals aren't there. But now it's time for you to try it. Whether you want to put it in the comment section or in your own time, try to think of an elevator pitch for your own story. Or, if this is too daunting at the moment, think of a couple of elevator pitches for some movies and TV shows that you like. Just make sure to label them so we can have a fun time guessing in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this has been a little bit helpful, and maybe I will see you in my next one.